At the beginning of time, the universe was a giant egg, hatching. Inside slept Pangu, a giant. One day, after sleeping for 18,000 years, Pangu woke up and found himself in a tight space, in total darkness. Ticked off, Pangu broke off a tooth, swung it like an axe and, bang, cracked open the giant egg. Darkness parted. As it did, clear, lighter matter slowly rose and formed a dome-like sky, and opaque, heavier matter stayed down and formed a square earth. Between sky and earth Pangu stood tall, holding up the sky in case sky and earth became one again. Like that Pangu stood for 18,000 years, growing bigger and taller every day, and keeping the sky further away from earth. The work was hard, and it wore on Pangu. One day, the exhausted giant collapsed. His bones turned into mountains, and 5 of those mountains served as pillars to hold up the sky. His hair became trees and forests, his flesh soil. His blood became rivers, and his body hair plants and flowers. His eyes became the sun and the moon, his eyebrows stars. His spirit became animals, birds, insects and fish, and his voice thunders and lightning. His male part became a god, and his breasts, Goddess Nuwa. Goddess Nuwa was a knockout. One day she saw her reflection in the river, and it gave her an idea. Then and there, she made humans in her own image, out of mud. Nuwa instructed the humans to mate, have children, and work the field. The humans eagerly obliged, and lived happily thereafter. But disaster was on the way. By then, a crop of new gods had appeared. One day, Gungung, god of water, challenged Jurung, god of fire, for a fight, and was defeated. Mad with fury, Gungung threw himself headfirst against Mount Buju, and toppled it. Now, Mount Buju was one of the pillars that held up the sky. When it was toppled, a gigantic hole appeared in the sky, where the top of Mount Buju used to be. Water from the heavenly river came tumbling down through the hole, flooding farmland and drowning humans. To save the humans in the universe, Goddess Nuwa repaired the sky with large pieces of clear, rainbow-colored tinted stone slabs she had forged out of melted pebbles. That is why Nuwa, the mother of humans, was loved and revered by her people. But of course, the human evolution is no fairy tale. It took millions of years and the perseverance of the hardy humans. Some of them made history as legendary inventors and rulers. Their inventions may look crude to the modern eye, but were nothing short of revolutionary at the time. First we have Yachashi, or man with a nest. Like many animals, we humans used to live in caves, which offered protection from weather elements, but not from ferocious animals. Yachashi changed that. He invented the treehouse fashioned after the bird's nest, and later improved it into the basic house structure still used today. Next we have Sarinshi, or fire maker. He was the first to drill wood to make fire. Before that, fire was just a natural occurrence. When it died down, that was it. Humans could not preserve fire, or make fire themselves. The invention not only kept humans warm in cold weather, but also ended the practice of eating our catch raw. Yes, flesh, blood, skin, innards, we ate them all raw, just like animals. With fire, humans began to cook our food, a critical step in separating humans from animals. And then there was Fuxi, the earliest ruler of China in written records. Fuxi invented the net, and taught his people to catch animals, birds, and fish with the net. He also taught his people to domesticate animals. Finally, humans no longer had to run faster than animals just to feed themselves. Fuxi was credited with creating the Chinese characters and using them to record major events. He also created Bagua, or 8 trigrams, to explain the world and everything in it. Those inventions added more dimensions to the human life. Yandi, or Red Lord, was another legendary ruler who ruled China more than 5,000 years ago. Yandi's greatest contribution was introducing agriculture and medicine into the lives of his people. He taught his people how to turn wasteland into farmland. And he invented farm tools and a farming method that called for nourishing and preparing the soil before planting the seeds. Prior to that, people simply threw seeds on the ground and hoped for the best. With this new method, crop yield soared. And for that, he was hailed as Shen Nung, or divine farmer. Yandi also helped develop herbal medicine into what is now Chinese medicine, and he personally sampled hundreds of herbs to learn their medicinal properties. Huang Di, or Yellow Lord, was another legendary ruler. Under his rule, the variety of crops, trees and plants people cultivated was greatly expanded. Vehicles were invented, and so were boats, and even a musical temperament system. Formal clothing and hats, the foundation for traditional Chinese clothing, were also invented. Silkworms were raised, led by Huang Di's wife, who made beautiful silk clothing. Most of all, Huang Di united the Huaxia tribes into the Huaxia nation. Huaxia, an ancient name for China, is still used today. Yan Di and Huang Di are hailed as ancestors of Chinese people and fathers of Chinese culture. Together with their court officials and offspring, they created almost all the important inventions of ancient times. Even today, Chinese people still proudly call themselves Yan Huangzi Sun, descendants of Yan Di and Huang Di. After Huang Di came three other legendary rulers, Yao, Shun, and Yu. Yao and Shun are hailed for passing the throne to someone most qualified to lead the nation, rather than a family member. Yao passed the throne to Shun, and Shun to Yu. Yu was a great success in controlling flood, thanks to a new method he invented. He diverted flood water away from residences and farmlands. Before him, people tried futilely to block flood. Yu passed the throne to his son though, setting the precedent for hereditary succession. Yu's son founded the very first dynasty in China, Xia, which was replaced, about 500 years later, by the Shang dynasty. The Shang rulers floated an idea that they had the mandate of heaven. That is, the Shang king was sent by heaven to rule the country on heaven's behalf. And in those ancient times before science arrived to provide answers, they sought heaven's advice on everything, including crops, weather and wars. That was done through something called divination. Divination is a grander form of fortune telling. A diviner would carve the question onto a turtle shell or animal bone, drill the shell or bone with a red-hot metal rod till it broke, and then interpret the break pattern for messages from gods. The messages were basically in degrees of positive or negative, ranging from, let's say, yes, to absolutely, or no, to hell no. After interpreting the pattern, the diviner would carve the messages onto the shell or bone. Thanks to this practice, the earliest mature Chinese written language got preserved. Its discovery, though, was purely by chance. It was discovered some 3,500 years later by an official in the Qing dynasty. He was sick and got himself some Chinese herbal medicine. One of the ingredients was turtle shell, already broken into fragments. By chance, he saw script on one fragment. He checked the other pieces, and they all had script on them. It was a type of script he had never seen before. So he ran back to the drugstore and bought all the turtle shell fragments. They all had script on them. Collection of the engraved shells began, so did effort to decipher the script. Since the script was carved on turtle shells and animal bones, they were called shell and bone script. As with the script, many Chinese characters began as drawings. Most of them have since evolved, but some stay more or less the same. This word is person. It began as a drawing of a person walking, head down, looking at the road. Even the current version, simplified through the years, still looks like a person. Look closely, and you will see a person standing at ease, arms back. When you gestured to people this big, how do you do it? Do you stretch out your arms and legs to show them? That's what the person in this picture is doing. And this word is big. And what is big? The sky. And this word is sky. This word is sun. What's the line doing there in the middle of the word, you may ask? That, I think, is cloud. Don't go gaze at the sun though. It might hurt your eyes. This word is usually translated as dawn. But it also includes the moment when the sun rises just above the horizon, as seen in the picture. When the sun rises to treetops, it is early in the day, or morning. And this word is morning. This word is moon. It looks just like a new moon. To me, the two bars indicate the dark shadows in the moon. This word is field. Cultivated land divided into patches for easier crop management. This word is dog. Doesn't look like it? Look at this. Rearranged, it looks like a puppy sniffing around. Here's another word. You probably guessed it. Yes, it's umbrella. Here's another easy one. As a verb, it means to skewer. As a noun, it means a skewer of something. The picture on the right is a skewer of hawthorn fruits, dipped in melted brown sugar, one of my favorite Chinese snacks. This word is female. To my delight, the picture I drew on the first try shows a modern woman striding down the road, head up, chest out, swinging her arms like a winner. So I decided to use this version. The original pictograph was meant to be more feminine than my rendition, but the message is the same. A round belly to keep the fetus safe and comfy. Wide hips for easy childbirth. And ample breasts for baby feeding. All valued by an early farming society that depended on human reproduction for survival and growth. Yes, women keep the world going.